Hi, guys. Welcome to a little bit of woo woo. My name is Jill Thomas. I'm so happy to see you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, first things first, correction from last time. Many of you pointed out in the comments, and I appreciate that, I mixed up creepy Uncle Andrew for creepy Uncle Edward. Uncle Edward is not creepy. So you guys know I meant Andrew. Okay. So that's where we're going to start. But I also want to start off by saying kind of what I always say, you guys. This is being given for entertainment purposes only. I am not a stock portfolio manager, a lawyer, a doctor, and you really shouldn't listen to me, particularly when it comes to the markets, which we are going to talk about today. This is just for fun, and I hope you enjoy it. But I will also say I'm right a lot, but sometimes I am just plain wrong. All of us that do this are. So we're starting there. So let's go with the royal family because that was the first thing I mentioned. Oh my gosh, you guys. You guys. More stuff is coming out with this Epstein leaks. This has been very entertaining to watch. I do enjoy justice being rendered sometimes, and so I'm seeing this play out a little bit over here and over in England. And one thing I was curious, though, because I tuned in a little bit because I was curious about what was going to happen with Sarah Ferguson. And I was feeling like she's just really, really depressed, really sad. I mean, it doesn't take a psychic to figure that one out. I was also curious to know whether their kids were going to lose their titles, and I'm not seeing that. It feels like they're going to get to keep it. It feels like they're in good standing. They haven't done anything wrong. But I do see this playing out more. There is more. There's more that's going to come out, and it's going to be coming out over the next few months from different sources, you guys. We've already talked about this, the Epstein information. Oh my God, that 20,000 email drop that happened. Did you guys watch that and think like they had this the whole time? You guys could have just given us that information a long time ago. And I'm going to tell you, the they need to be sticking the Swifties, you guys, Taylor Swift fans. They're always looking for like things in her songs and all kinds of stuff that finding information. They need to stick some of those people on those emails because people are sifting through and finding a lot of really interesting stuff there. I'm just saying they're doing the Lord's work. And I do love the way the British tabloid media has really been on top of this. So I'm just going to give credit where credit is due. There's going to be a lot more information going to be gleaned from what has already been released because it is a lot of a data dump. Having said that, are we going to get the FBI files? I've said this before and I'll say it again. Eventually, we're going to get what they say is everything. You guys know, you're smart. You guys know, we're not going to get everything. We're not going to get all the names. A lot of what felt like what happened with the government shutdown and kind of the stalling has been, it has felt a lot like they're stalling to kind of clean it up, to pull things out, to keep people from finding stuff because they're discovering that people, when they're given a lot of time and 20,000 documents, they will actually find things. I'm just saying, I feel like they're cleaning it up right now and working on that. And that government shutdown was really just a stalling thing that kept it delayed. Do I think eventually they're going to say they've released all of it and we're never going to see any more? Absolutely. Absolutely. Is it going to be all of it? No, 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 no. No. There's going to be stuff coming from weird places, you guys. The other thing I was getting a hit on too is that I felt like there was another fixer. Like, Ghislaine Maxwell was kind of procured. God, it feels weird saying it, procured girls, but like she was enabling this situation, she was creating this situation. I don't feel like that she was the only one. It feels like there's another one, another Ghislaine Maxwell who we've not heard of, hasn't been in the news, who's got some of this information too. I do feel like that person is going to have either their emails are going to leak or one of the victims is going to have publicly say their name. I don't know, but I do feel like there's another woman that we are not hearing about on the news that is going to be part of another data dump of emails and information on very famous people on both sides of the aisle, maybe even in our court system, wink, wink, right? Allegedly for entertainment purposes only, that are part of this. Okay, you guys. So we're going to be hearing a lot more, a lot more. You don't need me to tell you that. You guys already know that. You guys already know that. But I wanted to talk about what else is going on. You guys, I know that there's supposedly there's going to be a vote on this whether they're going to extend the Obamacare benefits thing. It's supposed to happen in December. You guys already know that's not going to happen. But even if it did, I don't feel like that's going to play out. You guys, I'm sorry, but I feel like those extensions of those credits is done for now. I feel like it's not going to be fixed again. It's not going to come back. I think we're going to call it the Affordable Care Extensions is what they're called, I think. I don't think that's coming back until the midterms, you guys. So I just don't feel like they're going to have the momentum and they have enough people to take care of it right now. I feel like it'll happen later, but you guys, for now, I do believe that whole Affordable Care Extension thing is just donezo. I'm sorry, you guys. Now, the other thing they're talking about on the news, though, is that they're going to make all the people reapply for SNAP benefits. When I tuned into that, because the states are pushing back, because states each have their own systems, and some of them actually do make the people reapply every couple of years, or I'm sorry, every 6 months or so. I do feel like that one is going to happen. They're pushing for it. They've been trying to glean the data out of the different states to find out, they're looking for fraud, of course, but they're also looking for addresses of people who might be here without proper documentation. I do see them actually kind of pushing for having people reapply for these SNAP benefits. I do see them pushing and making it harder for people to get them. We've all been looking at these numbers, and I feel like Trump himself is concerned that it makes him look bad that we have so many Americans on these programs. You know, whether you would say that, I mean, it has happened way before him too, but people are really looking at this now because we're actually getting the numbers. It's just shocking. The other thing, I want to say about Maxwell. Oh gosh, you guys, I think they're gonna pardon her. I really do. I feel like it's gonna happen after the new year, but I feel like it's part of this deal. It's sort of the soft putting her in that low security prison felt like a soft launch, right? I do feel like they are gonna pardon her after the new year, and I actually think they're gonna pardon Diddy too, you guys. I think they're gonna say it's a commuting of the sentence, like he's had enough, right? I see that happening after the new year, possibly close to the end of the year. I don't know. It feels like one of the 47's final acts as president is going to be to pardon some people, where it's like he's fulfilling a promise, but it doesn't matter anymore because he's no longer going to be president. He's losing political capital, but it doesn't matter. It's like it's already lost anyway. I do feel like we may see another couple of very shocking pardons. I can't think of who else would be as shocking. Maybe you guys could put in the comments if there's somebody else that you could expect him to pardon, that you would just be like, oh my God, no way. But I do think you're going to pardon Diddy and Maxwell, you guys. I'm sorry. I really do see that happening. I want to talk about, because this one bugged me when I heard on the news. Oh my God, you guys, I want to talk about that 50-year mortgage thing. Oh, okay. First of all, don't listen to me, right? Talk to a professional before considering one of these, which is not available. There's a channel called Clearview Tax, who I'm 100% sure does not watch my videos. I watch his though. He did a great video on what the 30-year mortgage, the history of that, and what a 50-year mortgage would actually look like, you guys. The news is saying it would save a couple $100 a month. He actually, when he did this video, he put in realistic mortgage rate numbers, and it would only save like most households about $70 a month, you guys. I think they are going to do this. I do feel like not too many people will get them because most people will look at the numbers and say, no, this just makes no sense. But I feel like it might actually get used more for refis. So people who were on the verge of losing their homes might refi to these 50-year things so that they don't get foreclosed on. I do feel like that is going to happen, you guys. In some ways, it's like an interest-only loan because you're never going to pay much principal down and there won't be any equity accrued. It's a bad idea all around, but if the question is, are they going to create them? Yeah, I feel like they will, actually. I think it's a little ways off, but it is something that they're trying to sell it as like, oh, this is the best way. We've got to get the housing market moving. In a way, this is more of these little trial balloons, right? How can we get people to stop talking about this Epstein thing? Let's throw a 50-year mortgage in front of them. Let's talk about a 2K rebate for your tariffs, which I don't think it's gonna I don't feel like that's gonna happen. I think people are gonna get some kind of a something. I don't think it's 2,000. It's not gonna be everybody, you guys. The other one, the $10,000 to air traffic controllers. Another one of these trial balloons. They're just testing the waters. They're just trying to distract. I don't really see anything meaningful from these. Definitely not in the form that we're hearing, you guys. But they are going to be talking in terms of how can we get people to stop talking about this because it's really not that important, right? But we need to be talking about money. And it is important because the economy, as you guys are seeing, is slowing down. Now, Hassett, I think he's labor secretary. I might be wrong on that. He's talking about not releasing the household data for October. I do think they're going to futz around with the data and pretend that there was no way they could get it for those 2 months that the government was shut down when they actually could. They're going to try that because they don't want us to see how bad these numbers really are. Yeah, they're bad, you guys. It's going to be a lot more apparent, especially in 2026. But it is going to be coming out in the news, and they are going to try and stifle that a bit because they don't want, or they try to blame it on the Democrats. They've been trying to blame it on the Democrats, you guys. And it's not really working, that whole PR thing of saying, oh, it's the Democrats that closed down the government. They're responsible for the economy being in the toilet. That's not really how people feel it. And I do feel as though the economy, and I've talked about this before, and you'll hear me talk about it again. I do feel that the economy is going to be the thing that causes this going to cause the Democrats to win in the midterms. It's going to come down to that money thing because that is really how people vote ultimately. It isn't necessarily gay marriage, abortion rights. It's actually money, you guys. You guys, it's actually money. Like if they feel whoever's taking more money out of their pockets and not supporting them is kind of the one they don't vote for. I'm just saying. Okay. So the other thing along political lines, because I was tuning into this a lot because I live in Oregon, you guys, and something just came up with us where our governor signed a bill to raise our gas tax. And there was like 4 other taxes that were part of this bill, you guys. But it was kind of sneaky the way she did it in a way that would make it harder for them to get it on the ballot. So basically, people in Oregon have, I think, 60 days to get 70,000 signatures so that this bill that was signed can actually be on the ballot. It raises taxes quite a bit. The reason I'm telling you this, I know this doesn't affect too many people. It affects me because I'm in Oregon. I wanted to point out that intuitively, and I've said this before, you guys, intuitively, I see lots of local municipalities are going to be messing around with your taxes. So if you're not paying attention to that because you're too focused on what's going on the federal level, it'll be easy for them to slip in these kind of little things, just like they're doing in Oregon right now, you guys. However you feel about this tax, we only had 60 days to get 70,000 signatures to put it on the ballot. It's kind of a big chunk. And it feels like the kind of thing people should be voting on rather than something that the governor decides. That's my opinion. But I'm saying I want you guys to consider that if you're not paying attention on the local level, this kind of stuff is going to happen more and more where you are. And maybe you agree with the taxes or maybe you don't. But if you're not watching, they will mess with your taxes even more than you think they would, you guys. The other thing that I see coming up a lot, you guys, is businesses are desperate for money and they're doing things that are really kind of shady, more so than normal, right? You guys, basically, I'm telling you, you need to be checking your receipts. You guys, they say it costs something. You need to check to make sure you're getting charged the right amount. You need to make sure you're not getting charged tax where you shouldn't be. You're going to have to watch it because lots of even big institutions are doing this kind of stuff because they're desperate for money and also think most people won't notice because if they have to refund somebody once in a while, it might not make that much a difference. I'm just saying right now in particular, you guys, right now, watch your money and watch your local taxes because there will be some things you may not personally agree with. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but don't let things happen with you not watching because they will while you're focusing on Epstein files and what's going on with the airplanes. Okay, what else, you guys? And I wanted to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene, you guys. Oh my gosh. So something I was seeing too with politics is that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not really a Republican, you guys. She's kind of something else. She's kind of one of these conspiracy theory types that more identifies with the Republican Party than she does with other parties, but she's kind of her own thing. And I feel a little bit that way with Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna too. Thomas Massey, by the way, is going to be running for president. I can absolutely see him. I think he might even be the the Republican. I'm not sure which election, but I don't think he's competing with Vance for it, but I do see him running for president sometime and having a very good chance actually of winning. Now, when you guys put all this stuff in the comments about he's really conservative, he is, but my point here is that we're going to be seeing presidential candidates and we are going to be seeing uh, senators and congresspeople who don't fit the mold anymore. Like the Republican who's like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has some she's got some pretty out there beliefs, right, you guys? And the Democrats who are more socialist leaning. I'm just saying, watch this because there will be a split where you're going to start to see not fitting into the slots. And I do eventually see, and I think this is a little ways off, but I do eventually see a very viable third party that is a little bit of both forming. And it will be what I feel like might be a more fiscally conservative Democrat or a more liberal Republican. I'm not sure, but I do feel like there's another party coming. I'm just saying, you guys just pay attention to the politics because we're going to be seeing more shifting of the way these political figures play their game. Let's put it that way. It's not going to be as much standard Democrats, standard Republicans anymore. And I do feel like that's coming, especially this month, because we're going to be seeing a lot of talking about this Epstein thing. And you'll start to see the differences because none of these Congress people or senators want to be seen as supporting Epstein in any way, supporting this. They want to be seen as somebody who came out and said they did the right thing, but yet they want to support the president because they don't want to get primaried out. I don't know. Things are shifting, and it's going to be interesting to see. I do see it shifting in some pretty big ways, you guys. Okay. People have asked me about Schumer. Is he going to stick around? Is he still going to be head of the majority in charge of the minority? I do think he will, actually. I feel like he sees it as his obligation to stick around and be viable until the midterms. I feel like he thinks he's going to be holding it together for the Democrats. Whether that's true or not doesn't matter, but that's how I feel he sees it. So I don't see him stepping down until that, at least until the midterms. He might his I think he's not up for reelection until 2028. He might step down after 2026 after the midterms, but I do feel he's going to stick around through the midterms, you guys. I really do. So that's what I'm seeing. Okay, is that all of them? Oh my gosh, you guys, did you guys watch South Park? Oh my god. I can't even describe the episode because I would get demonetized, you guys. I'm like convinced that these guys are just gonna keep doing this stuff until somebody throws them in jail because this one was pretty outrageous. I didn't know it was terribly funny, but it was really outrageous, you guys. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I want to talk a little bit more about the economy, but I was tuning into REI. For some reason, I'd seen their earnings, and they are in some serious financial yogurt here. And I couldn't figure out what was up until I went to a Bass Pro Shop. It was down the street from it's not too far from where I live, you guys, and I'd never been in one. Oh my god, that place is huge. It's the size of a small state, and it's beautiful, and it's got everything, and it's cheaper, and it's unpretentious, and there's this giant aquarium in the center. Basically, what I'm saying is I am not holding a position in REI stocks anymore, after walking into a Bass Pro Shop because I think they're in some serious trouble because if that's the competition, they've lost, you guys. But in terms of the marketplace, people have been asking me in the comments, have we hit the top, particularly with the AI stocks? Now, I can't really give an answer on that because frankly, timing is the only thing that's important when it comes to stock trading. When I intuitively tune in, I can absolutely see things going up and down for sure and being very crunchy for a while, but I can't tell you exactly when. I will tell you, me personally, I'm watching my positions, particularly my AI positions. I am really watching that with an ADD level of interest in it. I'm making sure I pay attention to these positions here. The one thing I did get a hit on that I think I can say is that 47 loves Bitcoin as an investment. And I do feel like as of today, I'm recording this on 11:15 at 7 o'clock Pacific, 7 p.m. Pacific. Bitcoin was down, I think, on Friday. I do feel like if Bitcoin starts to slide again, there will be some things done in the news to kind of prop it up. He's done this before in the past when Bitcoin starts to slide. I would just be paying attention. And I'm not saying you should buy some because of it. I'm saying that is one investment I feel like they don't want to let slide too much. And we are going to be seeing some shifting in the marketplaces. I would just be cautious, you guys, and I would just pay more attention to babysit your investments more than normal. We're supposed to get, I think it's usually in December, you get kind of the Santa Claus rally. I'm not sure how much of that's going to happen this year, but I would pay attention to your investments quite a bit. And the last thing I wanted to say is about airline travel, you guys. I know you guys are all concerned about it. Things are getting back to normal. I would say that I do feel like it's going to start to get back to normal. However, people are really upset about what happened and they're not going to be as inclined to travel and buy airline tickets. I do feel, just like I said last time, the airline industry is in trouble. I do see them asking the government for money next year, kind of as a bailout. But in the meantime, if you're wanting to travel, use your own intuition. You guys know things. I will say I had some clients who had to travel last week and everybody said that everything was fine for them. Maybe it was for you, maybe it wasn't for you, and I'm sorry if it wasn't. But that's part of air travel, and I think in general we can expect that air travel is going to start to get even less pleasant than it used to be. You know, I hate to say it, but I feel like that's just going to be part of it. But I will say that this week's energy does feel like it's shifting. It does feel like things are going to be moving in a more positive direction in a lot of ways. Now the government is open again, and they are going to be pushing this, Epstein disclosure narrative. But I would come back to, don't not pay attention to what's going on locally here for yourself, because that's going to be really, really important. And try not to get too caught up in what's going on big picture with the government. Focus on yourself. You guys have your own lives to live. Most of what's happening on TV is not affecting you directly that much. And the other part of it that I'm concerned about when I watch the big picture is that there's a lot of desperation to try and get us off the Epstein narrative. And unfortunately, I fear that that is going to kind of put us in a position where this desperation causes the 47 administration to create a conflict event. You guys, I feel like we're on the verge of one in the next few weeks. I don't feel like it's next week, but I do feel like we're kind of on the verge of one. And I think it's like we've just got to get people to stop talking about this thing. And of course, we've got Vance waiting in the wings, just going, please let me play the game. Please, I want to play. Please let me play. Oh my God, he's just dying to be to be up. And I think he will soon. I wish I could say when exactly, but I feel like it's soon, but it's not tomorrow. Okay. So cards for this week. I did pull some. I think it's really great. Okay. So some of the bad stuff has passed and you're going to be seeing the clouds clearing up. I'm going to say for a lot of people, this is you personally. The energy just feels like it's shifted. It feels like it's more positive in general. The next one, I pulled this last week too. Trust of the child. Trust that everything's going to be okay, because it is. Because the next card I pulled was the Wheel of Fortune. Good things are happening. Things are going to start to move into a better position. So for a lot of you guys, there may be a problem that you've had that just goes away. Just goes away. Just goes away. New influence, new energy, new perspective. Actually, the other one was new perspective. This one is new perspective. This is new energy, you guys. New stuff coming in. It's going to be good. The ultimate outcome was the 9 of cups. Is the 10 of cups, 9 of cups, 10 of cups, whatever. They're both the same. Very, very, very positive. Okay, you guys, lots of good things. Wheel of Fortune means that all good stuff is happening. Just do the work and just know that this week I think is going to be better for most people. but just allow for the changes to happen within yourself, and know that no matter what, you guys, it's going to be fine. And you are so loved. You are so loved. You're so important. And I'm excited that you watched it. And thank you for watching. And thank you for liking and subscribing, you guys. I really appreciate it. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Bye.